Hello, my name is Shauna and welcome to my kitchen. Today I will be making a dessert for the real women of Philadelphia, which I like to call the chocolate truffle wonton surprise. The surprise part of the chocolate truffle wonton surprise is that you can literally put whatever fruit that you want to in the center of this. Today I'm choosing two options. One is to put banana, which I will be simmering in coconut cream to infuse the flavor, and strawberries and raspberries, which I will be combining together. You can of course do strawberries separately or raspberries separately. I just really enjoy the flavours of the two of them combined together. You could also do orange segments, pineapple, caramelized pear, literally anything that you feel would go well with the chocolate. Okay, to begin we will make the coconut bananas. For this purpose we will add 1 cup of coconut cream to the pan, plus 1 banana, which I have cut into quarters and then cut into 2-inch spears. So we're going to let that come to a boil, and then we're going to simmer it for 5 minutes. Okay, now we're going to make the chocolate cream cheese truffle in order to go into the center of our wonton surprise. So first of all, we have to melt 300 grams of chocolate, which I've made a bain-marie. You want to make sure that it's not too hot, so the water is just simmering, otherwise the chocolate will burn. Now, in here I have 1 tub, so 250 grams of cream cheese, and to that I'm going to add 1 cup of icing sugar. You can add more if you like things really sweet. You can basically just adjust it according to the sweetness that you like. And I'm going to take my spatula and basically just mix this through. Now you want the cream cheese to be of room temperature so that it mixes well. Okay, once you've got a nice smooth consistency, I'm just going to check on our chocolate, which is melting. Okay, you can see that the chocolate is melting very nicely. Just give it a quick stir. As you can see, our chocolate is almost melted. What you want to make sure is that you're not overheating the chocolate. So as you can see, I've turned the heat off underneath the chocolate so that it doesn't burn. Okay, so we're going to take the melted chocolate off the heat. And I'm just going to scoop a little bit out of it. That's about a little bit more. About 3 or 4 tablespoons. The reason why we're doing this is because we want to reserve a little bit for plating our dessert later on. Okay, so I'm going to put that there. And I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of fresh whipping cream. Pour that into there. And then just mix that up. That'll give us a nice chocolate sauce and keep it from getting too thick so that the chocolate will stay a nice consistency for when we need to use it for plating later on. Okay. Once you've done that, you can basically put it into the little squeezy bottles and put it in the fridge for later. I'm just going to leave that there. We'll get to that in a moment. Now you can see that we've got a nice smooth consistency with our cream cheese. We're just going to pour the melted chocolate in and mix that up. At this point you could add rum or vanilla essence, a tablespoon or so of each, in order to give it a bit more flavour. Because I've already got rum in my bananas and Cointreau in my coulis, I've decided not to add it in this stage. Okay, so now you can see you get a nice, thick, smooth consistency. This is what we're going to use in the center of our wonton surprise. Just clear the edges. Now what you want to do, because even though it is quite a nice thick consistency, because you're going to be putting it in the center of the wontons before you deep fry them, You just want to put it in the fridge for about 15 minutes just to let it cool a little bit so that it can harden slightly as well. Now we're going to put together our chocolate truffle wonton surprises. In order to do this, you want to take one sheet of a wonton wrapper. You can get these in most of your local stores. If you can't get them in your local store, I'm sure you can find them in any local Chinese shop. Take about a tablespoon of your chocolate truffle mix with the lovely cream cheese flavouring. So about a tablespoon of that. Then we're going to start with the banana one. So we'll just put that in the centre. And I've made a cornstarch paste here, which is basically 1 teaspoon of cornstarch mixed with, 1 tablespoon of cornstarch mixed with a tablespoon of water. And you're just going to pour it around at the edge. You can use a brush if you prefer, but I find a spoon works very well in just being able to pour it in and then spread it with the back of the spoon. And this will act as a glue so that we can glue our wrapper together and make sure that there's no edges that don't have any on it, because if there are, then obviously the chocolate will melt and come out of your wrapper, which you do not want to have. Okay, so to start with, we are going to close the edges off like this, as you would with a spring roll. Pull up the edge, pull it over, push it in, make sure your sides are together, and then roll it over again. So it's nice and neat. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing with another wrapper, but this time we're going to make our strawberry and raspberry parcels. So again, 1 tablespoon, or a tablespoon and a half maybe, of the chocolate truffle mix. Put some of your raspberries and some of your strawberries in there. Make sure you put the cornstarch all the way around the edge again, like so. Again, making sure that you have no edges that do not have the cornstarch, because otherwise you'll lose all of your filling when you deep fry these. Okay, now for these ones I'm going to make them slightly differently. I'm just going to pull the edges together and squeeze them together like that, so you've got really nice little parcels. Almost like a little present. So squeeze that together, lift this bit up here, squeeze that together, and make sure all of your edges are sealed. Because if any edges are not sealed, then obviously, again, you're going to lose all that lovely filling. Okay, now they're ready to be deep fried. Okay, so we're just going to put these in now, one at a time. Okay, so these are nice golden brown, so they're ready to come out. So we're just going to put them onto some paper towels so that they can dry off. Okay, so now we're going to plate our dessert. In order to do this, we've got the chocolate cream that we made earlier, the raspberry and strawberry coulis, and the banana coulis. Now you can make whatever design that you want to with the chocolate, and then we're going to fill the centers of those with the different coulis. So here's our Philadelphia cream cheese chocolate truffle wonton surprise with banana and raspberry and strawberry. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy my dessert as much as I enjoyed making it.